You've mentioned the team and how competitive it was at the end of the season. You know, everybody now, that's gone. They're all now waiting, as you quite rightly say, for the big kick-off. I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you want to try to achieve next time around?
Oh, you're not putting me on the spot. I had a meeting with Lee last week, and if I want to be in the playoffs. There's no question about that. I wanted us to be in the playoffs this year. We were first, a League One team coming down. Now we all know the difficulties of League One teams coming down, and particularly coming down in the manner in which we came down. But it didn't stop me wanting to be there. And if those two players had came back a bit earlier, who knows? We could have snuck our way into. There were conversations around this stand, with 7 or 8 matches to go, where we could have snuck. We probably didn't deserve to, but and we didn't. But next year we should be. We should be challenging for those playoff places. And when I talked to Lee about it, that's he doesn't. You won't say to the manager. As supporters won't be able to say to the manager, mid-table do will it, Lee? Certainly not. It will not. We want to be up there, and we've got the wherewithal, with the kids coming through. So, I'm optimistic. I think I said a couple of weeks ago that what were you thinking this time last year? What are you thinking now? Well, I'm thinking a lot more positively now than I was this time last year, and I think supporters are as well.
You led me on to the next question, really, even very nicely, because as we all know, close season is always a time of the year where there's only one thing top of the agenda, and that's recruitment for their football club. You made changes to your department of that last year as well. 12 months on, are you seeing the fruits of that being rewarded? And how positive are you that you can really improve the squad for Lee for next year?
I think we are seeing improvement. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll only be able to measure it, when that elusive centre forward scores 30 goals, or the midfield guy, gets 25 assists or whatever. But it's a very competitive business trying to get players into our football club to fit in with the ones that are already here. It's competitive and it's difficult. And the work that Carl Hancock's done with Josh Kennard and all of that group, right the way down into the academy where they're picking up on 16s and 17-year-olds, is coming on. But these things don't happen overnight. They just don't. We're the 9th best rated academy in the country. That didn't come from last year or the year before. It's come from 25 years back. And to improve our recruitment situation is a bit like the hospitality. It's a hell of a lot better, and it's going in the right direction, and I'm very positive about it. But I don't want to kill it by saying, oh yeah, we're there, and you're going to see, because it's not an exact science, and we do it as we do everything on limited budgets. So fingers crossed. They've been working their little socks off since the list came out in March. They've been processing names, positioning it against the players that may stay, the players that don't stay, against the kids that are coming through, where we may need the extra help or not, and they're hard at it.
Well, as we've seen, for us who've been here for many, many years, and other people have been here even longer than what we've been watching and following Crewe Alexandra, you've always been that football club that's been able to produce and progress their own talent. And there's no doubt about it, there's a certain little group that come through last year that reached the level of League Two. How much will that gain, the club gain from that experience for them players, and how delighted are you to see where they are at the moment? And also, there's even younger ones now being picked up regularly for their countries.
Well, I mean, I'm delighted. I hope the supporters are delighted. I mean, the people I talk to, who sort of, pick you up for 5 minutes in the town centre, they seem to be pretty happy. It was a good group, that group that came through, not this season, but the season before. I mean, some of them played the season before that, the odd game in League One, just to give them some experience. It is a good group. There's some very good players in there, and I'm extremely positive about it. And more importantly, when I look back down the track as well, when I look at some of the groups that are coming through right down as far as the 11s, the future's bright. But in terms of the immediate future and those players, I mean, some of them have got quite a lot of games under their belt now, and I'm not going to get involved in Lee's team, but they are going to be a big part of our season next year, and that's the way it is at this football club, and I think that's what we all like to see.
I think the chat that we've had, there's lots and lots of positives coming out. I'm going to leave you with the final one that might be a little bit of a negative, but you might be able to tell the supporters what you're trying to do. The pitch seems as though it's causing you problems. There's no doubt about that. Sometimes we seem to go a bit longer with the pitch working all right. It seems to be getting a bit shorter now. What can you do about it? And how annoying is it as well?
Well, I'm a software engineer, and people always used to say that software engineers talking jargons and three-letter acronyms and nobody can understand them. But, having spent time with, agricultural people and pitch specialists, they can be equally as confusing. I really don't know. I mean, I think most people understand that, the budget that went on this pitch last year was about 4 times our normal budget. And, I go back quite a long way. It's probably the worst pitch we ever had. And that's not a direct reflection on our groundspeople. It just was the worst pitch, I can remember. In November it looked like Wembley. It looked absolutely fabulous. We took the covers off, and hey presto, the grass had gone abracadabra. So we've taken an awful lot more advice this year. We've done less. We've tried to let it settle more, and I'm told we can expect to reap more of the rewards for the money that we spent last year during the course of this season. I don't think anybody in the football club, it's one of those topics, whether it's Lee Bell, whether it's the people in the office, whether it's the ground staff, the supporters, anybody, doesn't understand that this football club needs grass, good quality grass to play on, and we're all like that, right? Because everybody can be assured a lot of time, a lot of effort has gone into trying to make it better than last year. But if you'd have asked me this question in November, I'd have said, fantastic, just look at it. And come December, it was a different story. So I'm not an expert. I'm an optimist, as you know, Graham. And I hope it's going to be an awful lot better. And certainly Lee Bell hopes that. And I know everybody who sits in these stands thinks that as well. And we're certainly trying, and Danny's staff are trying. So fingers crossed.
So just finally back to the end of it. It's been great to catch up. Long before we get the new fixtures out, and then we kick off as well in the first week in August. But your message to the fans?
Well, come and watch. We're privileged. We're one of the 72 towns, most of them are cities, that have got a football league club. We see good football played by our own teams. We see some good football played by other teams. We've got history in terms of being able to watch our own. The community is not just about the people in the stands, it's also about the people who play on the pitch. These are our kids as well, to a large extent, and I want people to come along and enjoy it. There is nowhere else in Crewe where 5,000-ish people get together every week to have a little bit of a moan and a groan and a happy clappy as well. So I want people to come. I want people to know that we're positive. We're not unrealistic. We understand what the challenges are. When people like Wrexham come out of with tens of millions of pounds worth of investment, life gets hard. But that's about battling against the odds. So, we're used to battling against the odds here. And that, by we, I mean we. We are used to it. So bring it on.